Your microphone.
I call the meeting now to order at 5:12. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Thomas. Trustee Calhoun.
Present.
Trustee Dopplemore. Dr. Little is running late. Trustee Lopez is an excused absence. President Ramos.
Present.
Dr. Curry.
Here.
Moving on to item 2, approval of the closed session agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Calhoun and seconded by trustee Dopplemore. Is there any discussion?
No discussion.
Without any further discussion, can I please have the vote?
Yes. What's your verbal vote, trustee Dopplemore? Yes. Okay. That's a unanimous yes vote.
Moving on to item 3, request to address the Board of Trustees on closed session agenda matters 3.01. Do we have any?
There are no requests.
Moving on to 3.02, Board of Trustees future agenda items requests. Do we have any, trustees? Trustee Calhoun?
I do. I wrote it down. I would like to know what the education code is about any board member that attends the meeting and they leave early. Is there an education code dealing with compensation when a board member leaves early?
Are there any other requests, trustee Calhoun?
No, just that one.
Trustee Dopplemore? I don't have any. Moving on to item 4, recess to closed session at 5:15.
Read the thing.
We're reconvening the board meeting at 6:09. Roll call, please.
Student trustee Thomas.
Present.
Trustee Calhoun.
Present.
Trustee Dopplemore.
Present.
Dr. Little. Trustee Lopez is excused absence. President Ramos.
Present.
Dr. Curry.
Present.
Moving on to 5.02, Pledge of Allegiance. Trustee Calhoun, can you please lead us?
Everybody rise if you're able to stand. Do like they did in school. Place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, and indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. One day. One day.
Moving on to item 6, report of actions taken in closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54857.1. In closed session, the Board of Trustees approved the claim of Patricia Campas in the amount of not to exceed $834.66. The roll call vote was 4-0 with trustee Lopez absent. Moving on now to item 7, approval of the open session agenda. Are there any corrections, Dr. Curry?
Yes, item 13.17 should be a ratification for that item. Then item 13.20 should be the dates for the contract should be July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. And then the other item is item number 13.29. Is actually an amendment to the previous contract to go through June 30th, 2025.
Trustees, with those corrections, is there a motion? It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Trustee Calhoun?
Are things being cut and paste and that's why it's not being on the agenda the correct way?
I can't say it's because it was cut and paste. I think there was just an error that was made on those three items, and we will make sure that we do better in the future.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just go back to doing what I did when I first started, and I'm still doing it. I'll just make sure I read really, really much more better to catch these.
Is there any further discussion from the board? Without any further discussion, can we please have the vote?
That's a unanimous yes vote.
Now moving on to item 8, recognitions. Dr. Curry?
So we have a couple of recognitions up to the board. Want to move to the corner so we take a picture? Right here. On that side. Move to the corner. I'm gonna take some pictures to get there. Give it back. Pick up the wall. Yeah, she will, but she's the first one.
Oh, okay.
So I want to recognize it first. The first recognition we have this evening is for Shaniqua Thomas, who is our student trustee for the 24-25 year. Tonight's her last meeting, and the board wants to present you with this plaque for your service as the student trustee for the 24-25 years. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I actually wrote something. I hope it's okay if I just speak for a little bit. Thank you to the board for this plaque. It's so beautiful. And thank you for this beautiful year on this term. Thank you for having me. Before my phone dies, because I am on 2%, if I could just be authentic for a while. Okay. What a year this has been, a trying one, say none the least. But I'm coming out strong. Being able to come to Compton College and graduate and obtain a degree has been the highlight of my life. The doors has opened for me here, and that will only continue to begin to open as I continue my educational journey. And my educational journey and my stop that I have been accepted to is Clark Atlanta University. I want to say thank you to my support system, whether you're here or not here, to the Black and Males of Color Initiative, Dr. Antonio Banks, my champ, my friend. You have been there from the beginning to the end. I can't express how much I care for you, and I want to thank you so much. To my Ghana sisters, Dr. Pilar, Bria Roberts, Devorah C., I thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much. Aquaba and all that. Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you for accepting me. And thank you to Dr. Keith Curry for allowing students to go. And I was a student that was chosen. Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to step into this role, stepping into the person that I knew that I was supposed to be, even though I couldn't see it. Thank you so much. Oh, and thank you so much to these fly sweaters that we received at a banquet. Thank you so much. Sweaters are fly. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
So the next item is item 8.02 is our Civility Champion Award for faculty, and the recipient is Professor Jeanette Morales.
And it comes with this, please.
Please and thank you. Thank you so much.
That's a good one. Oh, yeah, I am serious. I know you are.
Well, it's going to be very short and sweet. And I just want to thank everyone here. I've worked hard to stay committed to civility, even in challenging times. Thank you.
The next one is the Civility Champion Award for staff, Ms. Felicia Hatton.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am truly honored and humbled to receive the Civility Champion 2025 award today. Civility to me is more than just politeness. It's about how we show up for one another, like today. Especially in challenging moments, it's about listening with empathy, speaking with intention, and recognizing the humanities in everyone we encounter. To be recognized in this way is special to my heart. This lets me know that my work here at Compton College as the evaluator does not go unnoticed. I would like to thank my classified colleagues, staff, administrators. I would like to thank all my retiree colleagues that came in today. And also, I would like to thank the foundation for making this possible for us. Thank you.
So the next award we have is for the Distinguished Administrator Award, and that is presented, Distinguished Administrator Award is presented to Dr. Sherry Berger, Vice President of Academic Affairs.
I want to say thank you to those people who nominated me for this award and to the selection committee. I also want to say it's been a journey for 5 years. So to be here today accepting this award, it means a lot, and that people have recognized that even through challenges, we can work collegially together to get things done.
Now we have the Distinguished Faculty Award. The award goes to Dr. Rosa Ikimian.
I just want to say thank you to everybody. This was my first time full-time position to teach tenure faculty, and I came here 10 years ago. And I just want to share that the fourth grader in me would have been very proud today. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. We got class. Oh, sorry. I got so many names to do today. So for Distinguished Staff Award goes to. Yes, Alice. She's ready to cheer. Travis Martin in the Special Resource Center.
This is the part that's hard for me because I'm not a public speaker. Okay, I'm deeply honored and humbled to stand before you to accept this staff award. After 35 years at Compton College, I can honestly say this place has been more than just a workplace. It's been my second home. And I'm sure my family is probably saying, yes, it is. When I started here, I never imagined that one day that I have the privilege of serving across 9 different departments. Each role brought its own challenge. I learned a lot. Most importantly, I have worked at several departments. I started with the bursar office, human resources, the personnel office, academic affairs, counseling department, admission and records, and also at El Camino. I maintained athletic department, just to name a few of them. To the staff who showed up every day with quite dedication and relentless commitment. You are the heart of this college. I'm proud to stand among you as a classified professional. For over 30 years, I've had the privilege of serving on the classified executive board, supporting our classified professional. I spent more than 20 years on the negotiation team and over a decade of critical committees like the enrollment management, the health benefits, and the calendar committee. These roles have allowed me to contribute to the foundation and the future of Compton College. One of my moments that stands out the most in my career and when Compton College lost its accreditation, only two of us had the task of manually inserting more than 3,000 students into the system. And that took over like 100 hours of overtime, which Dr. Curry can attest to that. Yes, yes. And it was exhausting, but it was also a labor of love because I believe in this college and in the students who depend on us. And if I had it to do all over again, I absolutely would. As I reflect back on my 35 years, and yes, I've been here 35 years, I'm filled with gratitude for the work, the growth, the friendship, and the purpose. Thank you for this incredible honor, and I carry it proud, and I will continue to serve this college with the same heart and dedication. Thank you. Sorry it was so long.
So our last award is the Outstanding Adjunct, which is for Dr. Samita Gibbons.
Thank you, guys. I just wanted to say thank you for whoever nominated me. I don't know who nominated me, but I'm so grateful and thankful. To my department, they're not here, but Miss West, Miss Washington, Dr. Floor, not Dr. Floor. Well, thank you, Dr. Floor and McPatchell too. But also Dr. Pham, who retired, but just from the moment I stepped on this campus, I just always have felt welcome. Pilar was the first person I met when I came, so I'm just grateful and thankful. Thank you, guys. Hi, VP Jones. I was over here waving. Turn this on. I was waving. What you giving me?
Use one of these. What do you got? Whichever one of these.
This one.
Okay, turn it on. That on. It ain't on yet. Oh, it's on. It's on.
It's on. Thank you.
So, there you go. So now your phone can charge. Yes, ma'am.
I'm ready.
Moving on to item 9, request to address the Board of Trustees on agenda and non-agenda matters. 9.01, request to address the Board of Trustees on open session agenda matters. Do we have any requests?
Yes. David Chavez.
And pursuant to the board policy 2350 public participation, this is an opportunity for members of the public to address the Board of Trustees on agenda and non-agenda matters. And each speaker will have a time limit of 3 minutes. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you. I'm gonna go actually be presenting a statement from another faculty member who was unfortunately not able to come and stay because he has to go teach. So I'm going to be reading one for one of our business professors, our computer science professors, Rashid Yahi. So I'm going to be reading from the first person for him. So he says, "My name is Rashid Yahi, and I've had the privilege of being part of the Compton Community College family for over 31 years. My journey here began in 1991 as an ESL student, full of hope and determination. From there, I became a tutor in CIS, then a teacher assistant, a part-time instructor in 1994, and in 1996, a full-time professor, and eventually a department chair. This campus has been more than a workplace for me, it's been a home. But today, I want to speak from the heart, not just as someone who has grown here, but as someone who is deeply concerned. Since 2019, there has been no salary increase for faculty. This was during the height of the pandemic, and since then, the cost of living in California has skyrocketed. We've all felt the weight of inflation, rising housing costs, and now tariffs that make even everyday necessities harder to afford. But this isn't just about numbers, it's about the people. I worry that if this trend continues, we may lose some of the brightest and most dedicated young educators, people who bring fresh energy and passion into our classrooms, but who may not be able to sustain themselves financially on today's wages. And this will impact our students' success. I know many of you understand these challenges because you're living them too. My sincere hope is that our voices will be heard and that those in leadership will take our concerns seriously and advocate for a fair adjustment that reflects today's realities. And thank you for your time, your dedication, and may God bless you. Thank you. Yeah.
Minadora Moldovianu.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Dr. Curry, fellow guests. I'm Dr. Minadora Moldovianu. I'm a communication studies faculty at Compton College. I also served for 4 years as the academic senate president, but I primarily identify as a teacher. I received my best compliment from a former student. I ran into him in the hallway. By the time I saw him, he was a little bit taller, a little bit balder, and he looked a little bit wiser. And he said, and I quote, he said, "You changed my life." Sorry about that. Thank you, I appreciate that. Okay, so I primarily identify as a teacher. A while ago, I ran into a former student. He had taken my public speaking class a couple of years back, and he gave me the best compliment I could have ever received. He said, "You changed my life." And I wish I would have had the time to sit down with him and ask him how or why, but both of us were rushing to our next classes, and I can only assume that the things that he learned in that class, learning how to carry himself with confidence, learning to structure his thoughts in a logical way so his audience can pay attention, learning to speak with passion so that the things that are dear to him can also become important for his audience members, were what he was talking about. I have a growth mindset. I believe that when a student submits an assignment for the first time, that is likely not their best draft. So I allow do-overs. Sometimes my students submit the same speech 6 times before it is excellent. And I demand excellence because I believe they are excellent people. And I believe it takes excellence when you come from an underserved school and you try to make it the transfer university of your choice and into a competitive work field. It takes excellence to be recognized. I also believe that it is the excellent work that they do that is a reflection of the excellent people that we know them to be. I can name several students of ours who have successfully graduated, transferred. It's Quincy Jones, it's one of them. Armando Arguello, the commencement ceremony speaker from 2 years ago, who've graduated from communication studies, transferred to the university of their choice, and are currently pursuing master's degree. And many of them come back to visit us. Why do they do that? They come back home because they know this is where we first believed in them and saw them not only for who they are, but for who they can be. That is what we do here. So oftentimes at the end of the semester, as faculty, we receive a lot of gratitude. I received the plant. I received a beautiful cardigan. My colleague, Professor Rizardios, received a dress a couple of semesters back. And we received a lot of gratitude. And we wish gratitude paid the bills, because my colleagues and I would be rich if they did, but they don't. So we're asking that you please provide us with fair wages, because it is a basic necessity in order for us to do what we know how to do best, to believe in our students and help them thrive. Thank you.
Lisa Rios.
Pronounced perfectly. The year was 2013, 12 years ago. This is when I started my career here at Compton College, full of the same energy and passion that you're hearing and hopefully feeling right now. And I have to tell you an example of one student who came to represent many Compton College students, a student who was a bright star, a single mother who struggled financially. She was also an employee here at Compton College. Some of you might know her. Toya Harris, a recent newlywed. How do I know this? Because we've stayed in touch over the years. I've heard her victory stories. I've heard her hardships. And I recently, this past year, had the privilege of having her daughter as a student. And she was the finest, just like her daughter was. And even though this particular person, as well as her daughter, even though they had many victories, such as winning a gold medal, winning a top speaker award at a debate tournament, this speaks volumes, not just to the passage of time, but about the trust and respect that families place in this institution and in the educators who remain committed to it. I stand before you today, not just as a professor, but as someone who has devoted over a decade to shaping minds, inspiring growth, and upholding the academic integrity of Compton College. I don't volunteer, I work. If that means being on Zoom like I was 2 hours with an online student so they could understand the biggest assignment coming up, if that means being on the phone, because I give my students my cell phone number so they can contact me on the weekends, on a Sunday, honey, you'll have to wait to start dinner without me because my students need me. This is what I do because of my passion. But should it be pro bono? Should it be volunteer? No. I bring passion and energy, yes, but passion alone, as my colleague just said, does not pay the bills. Passion cannot be justification for stagnant compensation while other sectors of the institution move forward financially. If there are funds available for administrators' pay raises, and I have no doubt that every administrator here works hard, there must also be room in the budget for those of us who are in the trenches every day, the faculty who stay, who teach, who mentor, who anchor this college reputation. We are not asking for favors. We are asking for fairness, for recognition of our value, for the contract to be closed with the raise we've earned through the years of service, dedication, and results. Close the contract. Invest in those who invest in our students. This day, this month in 2025, close the contract.
Stephanie Baez.
Hello to everyone who is here. Thank you so much for being here, Compton College community. I would like to say congratulations to Shay on all of your accomplishments. Yes, I love to see you here. Congratulations to all of our civility champions and our distinguished award recipients. I'm so proud of the work that Compton College does here. I do believe in the work that this college does. I love my job. I do. I'm good at it. I too, like my colleagues, I take my students on field trips. We went and saw a play called, um, it's escaping me now, but it's by Douglas Turner Ward. It's called Day of Absence. I took 25 of my students, 100% of which were seeing their first play ever of their entire lives. And so I'm so glad we were able to go on that field trip. I did have students who stop me and say, like my colleagues, like Miss Baez, you have changed my life. I am forever different after today. And it should be, right? This is what we do. We are life changers. I do believe that that's what we do with our lives. I wish that I could dedicate more time to my job. I'm not here to complain about the time that I put in or the nights that we go on these trips. I love doing those things, and I wish that I could do more of that. I can't. I have other jobs. I teach classes at 2, sometimes 3 other schools because I have to. I don't want to. My dream is to quit those jobs and dedicate more time here. I just can't because I have to supplement my income. I do believe that I work with the best and the brightest colleagues on this campus that I ever have at any other job that I currently have or have had in the past. And like my colleague, Dr. Chavez, I worry that those best and the brightest will leave these students, will leave this campus because of specifically wages. I do remember at my interview to get the full-time job here that the very last question that was asked of me by Dr. Curry was, can you commit to a minimum of 5 years of working on this campus? And at the time I thought, what an odd question. Of course I do. This is my forever job. I've made it, this is my dream job. It makes a little bit more sense now though that I see colleagues that end up taking other jobs, other places, not, I argue, perhaps not out of want, but out of necessity because those other jobs look so much more attractive because they pay more. Thank you so much.
Kendall Radcliffe.
Good evening. Without faculty, there would be no students. Without students, there would be no faculty. It's sort of a chicken or the egg argument. You can decide which order either of those should take primary, whatever. Anyway, they depend on us for knowledge, for counsel, and a safe space to learn and thrive. These days, both students and full and part-time faculty live a precarious existence in one of the most expensive cities in the world, dependent on the goodwill, understanding, concern, support, and kindness and empathy of fellow colleagues, this administration, and the board. This is not a job for me. It is a vocation. Like my father, who's a Catholic deacon in New York, only one of 6 African-American deacons in the city of New York, the longest serving 50 years and the oldest at 90, my colleagues and I see, like my father, what we do as a long-standing commitment to serve our community. We choose to be here, and our students choose to come here, and hence they choose us to learn and absorb knowledge. Please help us help them. Help us to be free of the worries of not being able to meet the rising costs of living. None of us expect to get rich doing what we do. However, help relieve the stress of whether or not I will be able to make the mortgage this month, or choose, in the case of many of my colleagues, childcare over health care, or paying for a premium for a dependent or spouse or other family member. Help our part-time faculty, some of whom are homeless, make enough so they don't have to choose work at the Amazon warehouse because it pays better over teaching and practicing their vocation at Compton College. Hiring great instructors has been a challenge. Let's not lose the ones we have. Faculty are students for life. constantly honing their skill set and finding new ways to convey knowledge to our students. Stress, distraction, worry, and fear are the enemies of progress. Please help us to create an environment where we can all continue to thrive and serve. Thank you.
Brittany Olayele.
Good evening, everybody. I am here to echo the concerns of my colleagues. My name is Brittany Olayele, and I have been here at Compton for 5 years. I am a tenured ESL, or English as a Second Language professor. You see one of my students and her family in the crowd. As this started, she said, "Hey, this is my daughter." And I said, "Oh, are you the daughter that's going to Cal State Fullerton?" She's like, "Yeah, that's me." So I say that to say, I truly love what I do. I walk into my classroom with a sense of purpose, knowing that I'm changing lives. With each student that I speak to, with each student that I engage in conversation with, lives are changing, whether that's because they are feeling more comfortable using the language, they're increasing their vocabulary, they can go to the bank now comfortably and use the English language, they can talk to their children's parents, their children's teachers, excuse me. Transforming lives is happening every day. And I want to share a few excerpts from student thank you notes. You've heard a few, but I get to share mine. Thank you for that unique touch that makes us students feel capable of achieving anything. You always believed in me and helped me believe in myself. You are always there with a listening ear, helpful advice, and encouraging words to continue on. Now, the names Rosario Palominos and Araceli Galvez, they don't mean anything to you all. But let me tell you, their lives are changing and they are thriving because of their enrollment in ESL at Compton College. Araceli, she is a 26-year-old student who's married. She has a 3-year-old. She has been a student in my class for 2 years while deciding which direction she wants to go in. In December 2024, I said, "Hey, would you be interested in working as a tutor for our lower level ESL classes?" She said, "Oh, I don't think I can do that. I do not know enough English, Miss Brittany." I said, "Sure you do. You'll be fine." She applied to the Student Success Center with Shalisa, and she's now thriving as a tutor while taking advanced ESL classes, okay? I said, "Hey, what is your plan for fall 2025? She said she rattled off some ESL classes. Fine. So happy that I'm going to have you as a student again. She then mentioned that she was taking child development. So I have another story, but I only have 25 seconds. But that's just an example of the impact that these classes and we as teachers have. I'm sure all the professors here at Compton have classes filled with stories like Araceli. Successes that have helped Compton become a beacon of hope in the community. And those successes belong to all of us as educators. My vision is to continue supporting these students in a holistic way. But that's why I'm here today, and not just as an educator, but as an advocate. Since 2019, professors here have not received raises. In that time, as you've heard, inflation has risen, cost of living has soared, and our compensation has remained the same. Many of us are stretched thin. You heard Stephanie talk about that, taking on extra jobs, navigating financial stress, or cutting corners on resources that we would otherwise invest in our teaching. I just want to thank you for your tangible acknowledgement of the value that we bring to Compton College. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Carlos Maruri.
Good evening, board. Can y'all hear me? No, wait, go. Now, it's good. All right. Oh. Good. All right, good evening, board. Nice to see you all. So today I want to talk to you a little bit. I started at this campus more than 10 years ago. It was probably closer to 12. I always tell people I started here 12 years ago, but I started getting paid full-time 10 years ago. I was doing my practicum and whatnot during grad school and had a year there. And since that's, and you know, so I used to sit in the welcome center in the D row. It's still there, actually. It was my first office. There's a custodial staff member. I didn't get a chance to ask his permission to share the story, so I'm not going to share his name. But he came into my office and he said, "Oh, this is where you're sitting now?" I was like, "Yes." I was all excited, right? He's like, "Oh, how long you think you're going to stay?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, you'll probably bounce in like a year or two, right?" And I was like, "What are you talking about, man? I'm trying to be the brown Mr. Odanaka." For anyone who knows, Mr. Odanaka retired about 7 years ago. He was here for 30 plus years. And that was my goal, to be the brown Mr. Odanaka. And so I just thought his question weird, and I was like, "No, man, I'm gonna be that." And he just looked at me like, "Sure, sure." As time has progressed, as this decade has passed, I have seen many quality faculty and staff leave this campus. What I come to learn is he was kind of alluding to me using Compton as a stepping stone. And I'm here to tell you that Compton should be no one's stepping stone. Compton should be a cornerstone. Let's stop being the stone that people refuse and become the stone that people want to build with. Okay? Our students deserve the very best. And at this rate, we cannot keep our faculty members. Since being hired almost, full-time almost 10 years ago, I envisioned from that first day to retire here. Again, I want to be the brown Mr. Odanaka. And every year that passes, that vision seems less and less likely. And that makes me very sad. I know my worth. And currently, that worth is not being valued at Compton College Community College District. And I'm a little nervous, so I mixed that up. I'm confident that with my skill set and my knowledge, I could go to any district. And that's not cocky. Ask about me, okay? I stay here because I love Compton. I love my students. And more, it feels like the district is taking advantage of that love and passion. I love Compton, but I love my family more. And I have mouths to feed. I was nominated for a Hispanic Heritage Award leader by this college 3 years ago. And I said I was a candle. And I wanted to light many more candles because a candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. I fear that my flame is flickering, and I asked the board to tell the district to close the contract. Thank you.
There are no more requests to speak.
Moving on to 9.02, Compton CCD Board of Trustees future agenda items requests. Or do we have any requests?
I gave my request earlier.
See no further requests. Moving on to item 10, Board of Trustees meeting minutes. Minutes of the April 21st, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting. Is there a motion? Is there any discussion? Without any further discussion, can we please have the vote?
The motion carries.
Moving on to item 11, reports from representatives and employee organizations. 11.01, Associated Student Government Report, Serenity Reed. No. Moving on to item 11.02 Academic Senate Report, Sean Moore.
Good afternoon, good evening, actually. How are you all?
Good evening.
It's going to be a fairly brief report. Over the summer, we're going to be working on our program mappers. As you know, we have 43 programs here. So we have some special assignments that are going out, and the Guided Pathways counselors will be working directly with the faculty and the discipline that volunteer to bring up to par these program mappers due to the GE patterns that we've had change. Also, we're going to be refining we had some amazing award winners. By the way, congratulations to all of our employees who won awards. It's awesome. We're going to have to streamline some of the documents coming up. We had a collaborative governance work group on the 12th, and we're going to be meeting on June 2nd. We're going to be working off of a shared OneDrive document, and we're going to be adding in our action items. So yeah, that'll be good. We've had a couple of HEPS senators leave, like Sophia Tess has left, and we had a new senator come in, Mansour Ahmad. And the bylaw revision team is still going to be meeting on June 2nd, I believe, and we're going to be going over our bylaws. And we have Academic Senate Vice President nominations coming up at our next Academic Senate meeting. And that's all. So thank you so much. It's brief today. Thank you.
Just one correction to the agenda, and I forgot to do it earlier, but it's now Dr. Sean Moore.
.03 CCCFE Certificated Employees Report, Dr. David Chavez Mendez.
Thank you, Board. Thank you, Board President Ramos. Before I deliver our report, I just also would like to also just share again, like my colleagues were sharing a little bit. I've worked here for 3 years, teaching history and ethnic studies. I've been fortunate enough to be able to teach some amazing students, including one of our student trustees currently. And I can tell, especially teaching ethnic studies and history, I'm currently teaching history of African Americans. And one thing that I've ended every semester, even in the middle of every semester, I've had students just tell me, Professor Chavez, Dr. Chavez, Mr., depending on who I'm talking to, they always share, why didn't we learn this earlier? Why did it take me so long to get to this point to hear this? And this is coming from students who maybe just graduated high school, some of our returning students who are in their 50s or 60s. And that is it's both a tragic question to have to ask in our society, but it's also an honor to be able to answer and respond to that question as a faculty member. As an educator, to have that space here at Compton College to be able to talk to students about these topics, about their histories, and also have them reveal so much about their own history here to the city of Compton, Southeast LA, South Central, North Long Beach, and the community that we serve. I could not get that anywhere else that I would teach this. And I'm just really honored at the students that I'm able to work with day in and day out, both here on campus, at our dual enrollment classes, at the high school level where I get to teach 14-year-olds, freshmen, how to talk about these very serious topics and have these conversations, have these beautiful dynamic conversations. And I'm just like my other faculty members, I'm just so worried about the ability for us to continue to do this, because it's really harming our students when we don't have a tentative agreement after 2 years at the bargaining table. And I really want to continue to do this, and so do all of my colleagues here. And so with that said, my report today is actually a petition that we're delivering here to the Board of Trustees. I'm going to go ahead and read the petition, then I'll go ahead and pass it to the Board of Trustees to go ahead and put it into the record if that's possible. So this petition, signed by 50 faculty members with their years of service marked here. I think it's over collectively 500 years of collective service that we've done for the district. So I'm going to go ahead and read it. It says, to the members of the Compton Community College District Board of Trustees, we, the undersigned faculty of Compton College, and members of the Compton College Federation of Employees, submit this petition in unified support of our bargaining team's current proposal. We urge the district to take immediate action to address long-standing economic injustices and labor concerns affecting our dedicated educators. We, the faculty, declare the following. Number one, we stand united in support of our union's proposal. We support the bargaining proposal currently on the table by our union. We call on the district to agree to the terms proposed by our representative, which are reasonable, just, and necessary to sustain the quality of education here at Compton College. Number two, we are committed to our students and our work. And I'll say that again. We are committed to our students and our work. Every day, faculty show unwavering commitment to student success, often working beyond contract hours. We are the frontline workers delivering the district's educational mission. Number three, we are facing unfair economic conditions. Compton College faculty are paid significantly less than our peers in LA County. For example, the starting salary for a full-time instructor here at Compton College, our vocational faculty, is $55,669, compared to El Camino College, which starts at $80,000, or Cerritos College, which is $82,560 starting salary. The maximum salary at Compton College for our most senior faculty, who have dedicated over 2 decades to our college, the maximum cap that they can have is $113,000, while faculty at other LA County colleges earn on average $148,000, some $30,000 difference. We have not seen an on-schedule raise, as my colleagues have said, since 2019, and we've received no COLA, cost of living adjustment, in years, despite record inflation, as everyone else has mentioned. This other thing is point number 4 is we are experiencing a crisis of retention. Due to the uncompetitive salaries and working conditions, Compton College has experienced high faculty turnover, which is impacting our students. A significant number of faculty have left the district in recent years, resulting in lost experience, disrupted programs, and reduced student support. A third point is that the lack of competitive pay has created significant barriers to student success. For example, since 2022, our HVAC program has not been able to recruit a full-time faculty member, even though having a job announcement for that many years now. So on the last point, and the very serious point here, we don't take this lightly, but we are prepared to strike. We do not take this step lightly. We are prepared to take collective action, including a strike, if the district refuses to act in good faith. We demand respect, fair compensation, and the resources necessary to serve our students. Therefore, we, the Undersigned, demand an immediate agreement to the current proposal on the table. We've been at it for 2 years. We're going to reopen this in the fall. We've put away our ask. We've taken our language that we've been fighting for the last 2 years, and we said, you know what, let's return it to contract language existing, because we want to end it and we want to start anew. And we also are asking for a fair and competitive salary schedule, which is in the proposal. We've already agreed to that salary schedule. And this is for a way to get immediate retroactive pay adjustments to faculty some 3 years back. We urge the Board of Trustees to act with integrity and urgency. Our students deserve faculty who are valued, stable, and able to focus on education, not struggling to make ends meet. We respectfully submit this to the Board of Trustees. Thank you all very much. This is the report by the certificated faculty, our faculty here on campus. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Excuse me, President Ramos, 11.01 has returned. Yes.
Returning back to 11.01, Associated Student Government Report.
Hi, everyone. My name is Serenity. I'm the ASG president, Associate Student Body Government. So ASG, we help conduct activities on campus, and we also help with students when it comes to like academic issues. I want to thank you guys for allowing us to have the carnival a few weeks ago. It was so much fun. Dr. Curry's participation. He didn't get dunked as many times as I wanted him to, but it's okay. I'm just kidding. But yes, we did great. You guys, we basically had a dunk tank on campus, and we raised almost about $700 with the participation of everyone dunking Dr. Curry and Dr. Tim Harris. It was really fun. This year has been ups and downs with ASG, but I want to thank you guys for allowing us to have our activities and just working with us when it comes to our budget and moving forward throughout the rest of the semester. We have a new ASG president. She's not here today, but you guys will really enjoy her when you see her. Brielle. Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, Brielle Johnson. She's so sweet. She's been part of ASG. This was her first year, and she has been amazing this whole entire year. She started the dance team on campus, and they go to different competitions. They even performed at the new Canes that opened up. So she's going to do a terrific job. Just give her some help when she comes, because she's going to be here. It's only going to be about three returning members. ASG is still going to be working on trying to have new members be a part of ASG. We didn't get that many people to participate in ASG, but we're hoping when we start back the new year that we fill a few spots. This year we had about 7 ASG members, and it was pretty good. You know, if we can't get the full cabinet, as long as we have enough to work with ASG. So hopefully you guys can help, you know, push that, because Ms. DeVore is going to need help. And the 3 remaining members, which will be Brielle, Marquis, and one of the twins, Corinthia, I think. I don't know if it's Corinthia. I still don't know which one is which, Corinthia or Cynthia, but one of the twins. But yeah, so yeah, the remaining of the year, we're going to have cap decorating in about 2 more weeks. We're still getting that together when it comes to what how much money you want to spend on cap decorating. We do want to promote that a little bit more so students can come out and participate in the cap decorating. Other than that, thank you guys so much for the opportunity to be the president. I'll be joining the Air Force in March. I'm scared, but but yeah. So yeah, I know. Well, yes, got faith. I'll be on TikTok watching videos. Keep me motivated. See, I'll be doing the nurse transition program. So it's like a registered nurse transition program for like new grads. So it's very prestigious program. They only accept like about 100 students a year throughout the whole country. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, thank you guys. Have a good year.
11.04 CCCFE Classified Employees Report, Amenkwa McKinsey. He's not here, so moving on to item 12, presentations. Dr. Curry.
The first presentation we have tonight is for our Upward Bound Math Science program, which is a yearly activity, yearly presentation that we have. And we have Diana Sanchez, who's a program specialist for the Upward Bound Math Science program at Compton College.
Oh, thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Diana Chavez. I'm the program specialist for Upward Bound Math Science. Oh, got it. Thank you. So today we'll be going over what is TRIO, our Compton College Upward Bound Math Science program, our updated 5-year data, and lastly, our TRIO success stories. Federal TRIO programs were developed in 1965 as a result of President Lyndon B. Johnson's War on Poverty. All of the TRIO programs are designed to motivate and support students from disadvantaged backgrounds by supplementing their existing education and also by us helping prepare them for academic success. TRIO started off with 3 programs, and now now there's 8, and we are fortunate to be one of those 8. For our Compton College Upward Bound Math and Science program, we are funded through a 5-year grant from September 1st, 2022 through August 31st, 2027, which totals a little bit over $1.48 million over the 5 years. And our program is designed to provide 52 students from Compton, Dominguez, and Centennial High Schools with the opportunity to recognize and develop their potential, as well as excel in math and science, to encourage them to pursue STEM degrees and subsequently choose professions in those fields. Our eligibility requirements as outlined by the Department of Education are that a student must be a citizen or permanent resident of the United States. They must be a first-generation student, meaning neither parent holds a degree, and they must be from a low-income family. Our UBMS students by feeder high schools, we currently for 2024-2025 have 17 students at Dominguez High School, 17 at Compton High School, and 18 at Centennial High School. By gender, we have 36 female students and 17 male students. We're hoping that will increase in this upcoming school year to increase our male and male of color numbers. Students by race and ethnicity. Currently, we have 45 students who are Hispanic or Latino, and we have 7 students who are Black or African American. In terms of our services, we offer one-on-one academic advising. We offer tutoring 3 days a week via Zoom and in person. Our Saturday Academy supplements the students' current education during the academic school year. We have workshops, field trips, university tours. That also follows us into our summer programming, and we also host parent workshops 4 times out of the academic school year. Now that we've moved into the new student services building, we have a bigger space, and we're able to conduct more activities with our students. We now have, as you can see on the screen, a computer lab. We have cubicles for our tutors to work independently or individually with our students. And we have 2 independent quiet study rooms that are at their disposal. Creating a college-going culture, we firmly believe that, the 5 components, which are our Saturday Academy, academic advising, our summer program, tutoring, and our parent workshops, equal our student success and supporting them through their academic endeavors. Oh, sorry about that. And as a result, all of our services are free to our students so long as they meet that requirement by the U.S. Department of Education. Now onto our program objectives. We have 7 program objectives that are set by the U.S. Department of Education, and the data that we will be sharing today is from our annual performance report from 2023 to 2024, including 4 years back. And our objectives 1 through 4 will measure the number of participants that were served in 2024. Objectives 5 to 6 will measure our high school graduating class of 2024. And objective 7 will measure the high school graduating class of 2028, since we do track our students post-high school graduation to see if they've completed a degree in math and science. Our first data point is our eligibility criteria. So our benchmark was that 66.67% of our UBMS students are low income and first gen, and our outcome for 23-24 was 85%. Our first objective measured the number of participants that we were funded to serve. We're funded to serve 52 students, and for 23-24, we served 60 participants. For our second objective, we're measuring academic performance. Our benchmark was that 70% of our participants would receive a cumulative GPA of 2.5 or better by the end of the school year. And our outcome for 23-24 was 78.3%, which is a significant increase from 2020 to 2021. Our third objective measured academic performance on standardized tests. Our benchmark was that 25% of our UBMS seniors specifically will achieve at the proficient level on state assessments in reading, language arts, and math. Our outcome for 23-24 is 47%, which has risen slightly from last year. Objective number 4 measured secondary school retention and graduation, which was that 96% of the participants served during the project year would continue in school for the next academic year at the next grade level or graduate high school with a regular high school diploma. And our outcome for 23-24 was 96.5%, which is a slight decrease from the previous 4 years. Objective 5 measures secondary school graduation rigorous study. So our benchmark was that 56% of the UBMS seniors would complete a rigorous secondary school program of study. And our outcome for 23-24 continues to be 100% from 2021 to 2022. Objective 6 measured post-secondary enrollment. Our benchmark was that 60% of the seniors would enroll in a program of post-secondary education by the fall term immediately following high school graduation. And our outcome for 23-24 was 90.5%, which again is a slow rise from the last 4 years. Well, a big rise, apologies. Objective 7, which was measuring our class of 2018 and their post-secondary completion. The benchmark was that 35% of participants who enrolled in a program of post-secondary education by fall would, immediately following graduation, would attain either an associate or a bachelor's degree within 6 years following their graduation from high school. And for 23-24, our outcome was 66.7%. And lastly, I would like to recognize some of our seniors that are here today. And just as a testament that TRIO does work, we had 18 seniors this year, 3 of which are here today. I just want to quickly go through their names. First was Brianna Barboza, who will be attending Long Beach City College for Culinary Arts. We have, thank you. We have Esmeralda Bautista, who is here today, who will be attending UC Riverside and major in Education, Society, and Human Development. We have Carla Carrillo, who will be attending Long Beach City College for pre-nursing. Justin Castillo, who will be attending LA Trade Tech for digital video and audio. We have Ivan Contreras, who will be attending UC Riverside and majoring in political science. And Marlene Diaz, who will be attending CSU Fullerton, for pre-business this fall. We have Emily Gomez Perez, who will be attending UC Merced as an undeclared student. We have Ana Gonzalez Rebollar, who will be attending El Camino College for studio art. We have Jasmine Landeros Ayala, who will be attending Compton College for health and public science. She is also on track for the CDU pathway. We have Carlos Lucio, who will be attending Cal State Long Beach for pre-business. We have Giselle Mora Olivares, who will be attending UC Davis for animal science. We have Claudia Perez, who will be attending UC Irvine for psychology. We have Manuel Plasencia, who will also be attending Cal State Long Beach for pre-business. Melissa Reyes, who will be attending Cal State Dominguez Hills for sociology. We have Kimberly Robles Cano, who will be attending Cal State Long Beach as an undeclared student. We also have Julie Romero, who is here today, who will be attending Cal State Fullerton for public health. We have Valeria Suarez, who will be attending UC Riverside for sociology, law, and society. And our last student, Gabriel Ulloa, who will be attending Cal State Fullerton for pre-business.
Trustees. Trustee Calhoun.
Can you please go to page 8?
Yes.
What do you see as what's wrong with that Tell me what you see is what's wrong with
It's
that.
a very low number for our male students of color, female students of color, for Black or African American students. We have in the past worked with the director for the Black Student Achievement Office for the Compton Unified School District. We have also started working collaboratively with our higher ed coordinators to increase those numbers. Actually, I remembered your comment from last year
That's
because
right.
we had 3 students. So although it's a slow rise, we do hope to see those numbers increase. I think this would also tie into one of our objectives where I'm so sorry, I can't remember it off the top of my head. For the for eligibility criteria, you had also mentioned in the past that, we have families who are no longer kind of meeting that low income threshold. So we do have a small percentage of students who are either low income and or first gen, or maybe don't meet that. Their family has a little bit of a higher income. So that's also, I feel, assisting with bringing that number up. Does that make sense? Apology.
No,
No?
listen, no disrespect to anybody in this room. I'm gonna ask this question every single time.
I know.
No matter if it's 3 students, 2 students, or 1 student. This is my opinion. They can speak for themselves. This is not acceptable. Not to me. This race, ethnicity is not acceptable to me. All right? I don't know that everything that you ladies and gentlemen go through, because I don't work here. I'm just a trustee here. But this is unacceptable to me. And I'm very serious about that. And every time I see this, it is going to be unacceptable to me. Somebody, somewhere, is really not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I can't tell because I'm not on that side. So this does not look good to me. I've talked about it every single time it has come up, and I'm gonna keep on talking about it every single time. This is not acceptable. I don't know where you go to find the students at. I don't know what you do because it's on that side. That's your job, not mine. But when I see statistics like this, it is unacceptable. Unacceptable to me whatsoever. And I'm quite sure you guys are doing the best you can, but can you do better? We must do better. Okay? If it looked like I'm upset, I am, because I am tired of seeing this like this. You cannot tell me that there are not any African-American students. You cannot.
I totally
Whether they qualify or don't qualify, you're missing something. Somebody is missing something when it comes to the African-American students in this right here. And then you got your hand up, Dr. Curry, you want to say something?
I didn't want to respond, so I responded.
Well, let me finish with what I got to say then, because I'm telling you, this is not good to me. This does not look good to me. Not whatsoever. Not whatsoever. So I think you should say something so I could stop, because I don't want to go anymore. This is not acceptable to me.
I didn't have a question, but you can definitely go.
Are you directly responding?
I'm going to respond to that last comment, or do you want to make something as well?
Dr. Curry.
So I think there's 2 things I want to put out there. One is we continue to monitor the demographics of the district that we serve and what those numbers look like. But then also 2, we have to be very mindful regards to the president's letter from the dear colleague regards to targeted recruitment relates to students for federally funded programs. And so we have to be very mindful regards to our recruitment process and what we're doing, because we could be targeted regards to targeted recruitment for a certain group of students for a federally funded program where the funds could be removed by the federal government for targeted recruitment. I would say that we have to continue to look for other ways to recruit students who are eligible for the program, including African-American students, but being mindful of the dear colleague letter that we received on February 14th regards to targeted work as relates to certain groups and certain populations. So we continue to monitor this. I understand the concerns, but I'm also even more mindful regards to the dear colleague letter from the federal government regards to TRIO programs. In addition to that, I'm very mindful in the current president's budget for the 26th fiscal year, he's proposing the elimination of the TRIO programs as well. And so we just got to be very mindful of what's happening federally regards to targeted recruitment, but then also regards to the future funding for TRIO programs. As the current administration in their budget proposal is to eliminate all TRIO programs. And I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just putting out information as well.
Okay, I know about that dear colleague letter. All right. I am on the board of the CCCD. I'm one of the board members. I am also the chair of the Black Caucus for how many colleges? I am the chair. And we wrote a letter in response to that dear colleague letter. We, the Black Caucus, in fact, all the caucuses got together and we each had an excerpt about that dear colleague letter. I understand about the federal funding. I understand about not wanting to lose it. I understand that altogether and people being qualified and we might lose it. I'm still saying, I will say this for every nationality that goes to this college. Black, white, Latino, Asian, Japanese, LGBTQ, I will talk for every single student. All right? The reason I'm saying what I'm saying is because I see this all the time. But I'm gonna talk for every single student. And I'm gonna fight for every single student to get what they need and to get what they deserve. Just because I'm talking about African Americans right now, we could say the same thing about everybody else on this also. But because you're only showing Black or AA and Hispanic or Latino, I can only talk about what I'm seeing right here. Now, if you want to give me a graphic with all the nationalities on it, whether it's 1% or 2% or 3%, but you're lumping us in together. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. No disrespect to anybody. If you want to do a graph, then you're going to do it Hispanic or Latino, Black or African American, Caucasian, right? Asian. You can do them all, even if it is 1%. But when you show me this right here on race and ethnicity, and you're only doing Hispanic or Latino or Black and African American, I don't know what other nationalities go here. I know I see them. I know I'm seeing them. So let's include them. And then the whole circle. I'm gonna stop.
Yes, again, thank you. I just wanted to ask, so are the students of each year, do you have a different applicants, a number of students that actually apply, or are the students actually like in a cohort?
We have, excuse me, Xochitl, I'm so sorry. May I have you help me with that?
So our students, every year, we open the Yes, to answer the question, every year we open our application to our students, whether they're in 9th grade all the way to 11th grade. Once our students are accepted into a program or into our program, they stay within our program up until they graduate high school and apply into a university. And we also track them for 6 years after they graduate high school so that we can have that data for our objective.
Thank you. So the first class, you should be able to, and this is objective number 7, right? So you should be able to give us the outcome of the graduating class of 2018. Is that right?
Yes, so that's what the graph shows is the graduating class of 2018 and those students who have completed a degree within those last 6 years.
Okay. So because this is an annual report, so then next year at this time, could we have, Dr. Curry, the information of where the degree obtained for the class of 2018? And also, we should be able to have it for the class of 2019.
Next
Is that
year,
correct?
yes.
And then with that, can we now start tracking in the data
so we could see where those students actually, what their actual degree was, because the funding for this is going to end in 2017, right? So all that information will be collected. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think we could look at your question and revise the presentation for future years regards to student outcomes and what happened to our students based off of the data we get from National Student Clearinghouse to show the trend of what degrees they received. We can figure something out regards to that. And it's how we present it as well.
Yes, thank you. Because also the reason why I'm going with this, because I did go to the website, and it does show that like the majority of the students, their degree or their area of studies is more in, it's not really in math. So knowing that this program is designed to encourage students to study in those fields, we want to be able to see like the original intent of the program, and then if there was some type of altering or some type of what was the impact for students to actually major and get their degree in a math and science. That's kind of why I'm asking, because I believe it's more in, I forget what it's called. It's not in math field. It's the other, more in liberal arts. Thank you, liberal arts. Yes, thank you so much. And that's pretty much all I have. Turn it over to you.
Thank you again for the report. And I also have a couple of questions building on the previous. I'm looking, first of all, on page 6, that we basically have an equal amount of students coming from Centennial, Compton, and Dominguez. Is that correct?
Yes. Oh, sorry, yes.
And I would like, if we don't have it today, Dr. Curry, the student demographics across all those who report, because I know it doesn't necessarily mean that it's accurate, but the students who report, I would like a disaggregated
From the high schools.
data set from the high schools. And I know that some may be more than the 87% that we see represented of the 52 students here. And as was stated before, when we have it just with 2 groups, we're dealing with the 87 and the 13%.
We will provide that information, and we did pull it, so we'll provide that information for each of the high schools.
Okay, and then also, can we get a disaggregation by grade of the 52? Because I know you
Yes.
have,
We do have that information.
Are you asking for it by just the number of students? You asking about
I want it
disaggregate?
disaggregated by the number of students. I would also like it disaggregated by race and ethnicity, if possible. So of the 7 students, let's just go with the low number of African-American students. I don't know about any other ethnic group. Are they 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, 12th graders? Can students join at the 10th grade, the 11th grade, the 12th grade if we recruit more students? First of all, those are 2 questions I have.
Yes, so we do have that information by grade level, by school, and by the race and ethnicity.
Can we get that right now? I want to know how many of the 7 students.
We will follow back up in writing to the board.
I'm sorry, go ahead and finish your response.
Oh, no, that was pretty much it. If we're gonna give you the data later, that should be fine.
Okay, and in terms of, I know, Dr. Curry, you referred to the February 14th, 2025 Dear Colleague letter. As was stated, this was a conversation, and this program has been going since the fall of 2024, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so is recruitment summer, or is it all year round?
It's fall, so it would be September to roughly November, depending on the numbers. I know that we've extended in the past. We did finish recruitment late March this year.
Okay, so there was an opportunity from September to March for outreach and recruitment.
Yes.
And these were the numbers. Okay. And also, when we look at the graduating seniors, I think there are 18 listed here. And congratulations to all the students, and especially those who are in the room today. Are those all of the graduating seniors of the 52?
Yes, for this year, for class of 2025, yes.
18.
Yes.
We have 1 student coming to Compton College?
Yes.
So when we think about obviously, when we disaggregate it, I see a lot of 4 years, which is definitely something that we are very happy about. And we're happy that all these students are pursuing higher education because, quite honestly, many of them may not. But my question is, can we get the data over the past 5 years of those who actually come to Compton College? Because 1 of 18, regardless of how you slice it, is not yielding a lot. And I'm just wondering, is it for some of the reasons? Obviously, we would encourage students to diversify, to get different experiences, but I would like to know how many applied even to Compton College.
So we can pull that data, but the problem with this is that under the federal government rates to this program is not used as a recruitment tool for our institution. And so if we do that, we have a problem if we're starting to target recruit those students to come to our campus. That's not allowed under this grant.
I'm not saying for recruitment, Dr.
I know,
Curry.
but
I'm saying if they're experiencing our programs, they're here on Saturdays. I was a student at Compton College because I attended Compton High School. When high school was 10th, 11th, and 12th, I was in a pre-med program just like this. There were 8 districts all the way from Palos Verdes to Compton who came to Compton College for 10th and 11th grade. And I attended Compton College. I went on to a 4-year, but I attended Compton College, not just because I lived here, but being on this campus, which is why I'm a trustee today, you foster loyalty, trust, and interest. So I can figure it out right now. I didn't do the data, but I'll figure out what is 1 out of 18. And all I'm asking is the last 5 years, what is our yield?
And I mentioned that we will provide that information, but as it relates to recruitment for the institution, we have to be very careful if we are saying, or we're looking at the data to see why students are coming here or not, is that we cannot target recruit them to come to Compton College. We can provide them with that experience. We can tell them information about dual enrollment, but to talk to them about enrolling at Compton College as part of the program once they complete is problematic for us.
This
And
is
that's all I'm
post
saying.
data I'm asking, Dr.
We will
Curry.
pull it.
No admissions. I'm saying, are we yielding 5% of students in high school for 4 years who are exposed to our learning in campus? Is that our yield? If that's our yield, it's our yield. I just want to know that.
We
I'm
will
not
pull the data.
suggesting we should do any outreach, anything to abridge the program. To me, it seems that just by statistics of 18 students, and if I think maybe 6 are going to community colleges. Some of our local colleges in the area, they're not even going far away. I saw Long Beach City, I saw Cerritos. Now maybe it's programmatic. I saw culinary arts, right? I saw media because it's LA Trade Tech. So I can understand if it's programmatic. I just want to know. And I would appreciate the data. Thank you for the report.
Yes. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the presentation. My concern is that I've been in all of these areas, Dominguez, Compton, Centennial. And from your statement, you stated that, there's not a lot of low-income African Americans who are applying themselves to this program, correct?
Not necessarily. We do work with the higher ed partners to provide us a list of all of the 9th and 10th graders who are eligible GPA-wise for the program. We go through that list. We talk to the students. We have them go through our application process. I would say on both sides of the board, in terms of Hispanic or Latino or Black and African American students, some just get lost in the application process. They just don't complete it. Sometimes, we do have counselors who recommend students. That's not the case all the time, but that I would say that is one of the factors.
Okay. Just by your statement again, how is it possible that they're continuing to get lost? I mean, if you guys been doing this in 2004 and we're now in 2025 and it has not moved up much with your percentage, as we can see, how are you guys doing outreach? Not outreach to bring them to Compton College, but how are you guys doing outreach in general? If you guys know that you guys are lacking in certain ratios, What are you guys gonna do to do something different, to do it better? I'm not understanding if you guys are aware of this issue. What is gonna happen next? Like, what's gonna be different?
So this year, again, although that rise was not significant, we worked with the higher ed coordinators at all three schools to provide us a list with students who met those demographics and the eligibility requirements.
Are any of these coordinators African American?
No.
May I ask?
Oh, wait, yes.
Yes?
Apologies, yes. Ms. Sharkoya Smith at Centennial.
One
Mhm.
at Centennial?
Yes.
Any other schools?
No, not at the other two schools. They're both Hispanic. Yeah. And it's, again, something that we continue to work on. I mean, I can give you an idea. This is not necessarily, and I apologize in advance because I haven't talked to my supervisor about it, but potentially an open house here, at the school that we can invite parents to see the facilities. And hopefully, that will help as well. And also on campus, we do go to open house events, parent conferences, any opportunity to table, we're also there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't stress it enough. I mean, I'm sure you
Yes.
you got the point. That's just the main concern, that ratio. But other than that, thank you so much for the time, and I do like that everything was free. Thank you.
If we can get as a data point, so that way it removes you all from having to answer the list, do they have it disaggregated by different ethnicities that you all receive of who is qualified? You get what I'm saying? So of the students, do they give you any markers, right? And if we can get any of that data, so they may give you a list and say, of the students who attend here, this is the number of students who actually can qualify, not that they're going to be in the program, but that qualify, because the data may tell us is 87, 13, or 92, and 8. But having that data makes things way more transparent, because then we can target. Because if you get in a list that says it's 40, 30, 20, then that gives us different strategies versus we have a finite number of students. We have to do extra or different ways in which to increase that number, because you said you doubled it from last year, correct? 3 to 7. So great improvement, and it's not an either or. So I just want to acknowledge that.
Chair, if I could just make a Dr. Perry, do you know on the application, I'm so sorry. On the application, does it state, I know it probably has something income because that's one of the qualifying criteria, but does it also ask for race,
Yes.
ethnicity on here?
Yes.
Okay, so are there applications that say possibly an African-American applicant would apply, but they would be turned away because of, say, one of those?
We haven't had that experience yet, where we turn somebody away
Okay.
because of income.
So you have not?
No.
Is it a first come, first served basis?
No, again, that list that's provided, I will talk to those students. I will provide them an interest form link, which then they will give their name, their school counselor. They will provide a brief, it's a multiple choice of where they fit in the income bracket based on federal TRIO low income levels. And then once they've submitted that, I will contact the student, I will contact the parent. Then I will give them the official application form. Once that is submitted, we can move on to the interview process. Because we're working more closely with the higher ed coordinators, the majority of the students that we're recruiting do fit our eligibility requirements. And once that interview is done, then we can move forward with admission. But that's where I was saying where like they will fall through the process of like, maybe they won't return my text or call, and then, or I'll go back and talk to the student and they'll be like, I'm sorry, no, I can't do this. It's too much commitment. Or they'll have some other life factor or situation. And that's on both sides of the board as well in terms of ethnicity and race.
Just one more question. This process of going through the higher ed coordinator at the school, do you know, possibly Dr. Curry, if this is a practice, say, for other programs?
Yes, all of the programs
All
go through the
all
higher ed
programs
coordinators.
Go through the higher ed coordinators?
Yeah, so let me do this. I think it's, I hear all the questions. I hear the follow-up questions. I know what we have to follow back up on, and I'll be looking at the recording. But I think there needs to be a comprehensive report regards to answer some of these questions. And I don't think it's appropriate to do it right now because I want to provide you with the factual information. I hear the question. I see where this is going regards to what is the process, work with the higher ed coordinators, what list they provide. So I'm a list the recording. We'll come back with an updated report regards to the recruitment process for Upper Bound Math Science and also some strategies that they have for the next year. I also got the question regards to the data of disaggregation by grade and also future years. So we're going to put together a comprehensive report. I just don't think it's appropriate right now to try to answer each question because at the end of the day, we have to come back with a comprehensive because there's so many different questions that have been asked. And I want to make sure that it's placed in writing where the board has a chance to review it and then we could maybe discuss at a later date. And we could do that.
I have another question. Dr. Curry, you can answer it. Once, I'm trying to be politically correct, but I can't. Once the students are on our campus, is there any way, to your knowledge, do you know if they get involved with the student trustee or the ASG, or does the student trustee department or the ASG president, are they aware of this program that could probably assist? I don't know, I'm just asking, right? Because we do have an ASG and we do have a student trustee. Are they aware of these programs? And maybe if they were given information, I don't know, maybe if they were given information, maybe they can assist your department when it comes to this. I don't know. I'm not trying to add more work onto your staff, Dr. Curry. I'm just asking a fair question. If ASG doesn't know anything about it and student body trustee don't know anything about it, how can they assist with helping getting the information out with the high schoolers or working in your department? Do any students work in your department?
So I would answer the question, and we'll provide a conference report. But I think where you're headed at is how do we engage the campus community in the work that's being done with Upper Bound Math Science, and it's particularly student groups that are on campus, and what would that potentially look like? So I think as a follow-up, we'll be providing information in regards to student workers and also teacher associates who provide support for the program. But then also looking at strategies to engage the Upper Bound Math Science program besides the meals that we have in the cafeteria into the campus community, which could touch on a little bit of Dr. Little's question regards to integration in the campus. And so we can follow back up on that. I know where you're going with that question and you're trying to be political about it, but I know where you're going with that question is how do you engage them into the campus community? And I think that's a fair question.
Thank you so much. You remember this book, Dr. Curry?
Yeah, I do.
Do we still do this?
That's a long story.
I'm quite sure it is, but maybe things like, maybe things like TRIO and the federal program, or maybe this is given out to the students or is placed someplace or whatever, and either for a fee or free. I've been going through this whole book. I've been meaning to bring this up before, but this might help advertise a lot of the things that are going on our campus. Males of Color, the fixed program, the free food, the thank you, Black and Males of Color Syndrome, and then even the farmers market and all the things we do and talk about our sports. The basketball, softball, baseball, football, how to join. I'm gonna stop.
So if I may, just to close this out, one is I want to say thank you to the staff I know there's a lot of questions that was provided today, but they work extremely hard and they know for the last couple of years regards to the questions that will come forward. They were prepared for that. But also too, to the students that are here to recognize them for their participation in the program and also for graduating from high school this year. I would say that the TRIO programs, as was mentioned, they've been around for a long time. My concern is future funding for TRIO programs, but then also being in compliance with the Dear Colleague letter that was sent out by the Department of Education and how we move forward strategically regards to some of the questions that were asked. But I do want to say that in board meetings, and I know the board has questions, but if there's concerns, direct the concerns to me and say, Dr. Curry, please fix it. And I could be able to follow back up. And the reason why I say that is because some of these things that are some questions that are being asked tonight has to do with some of the things as it relates to higher ed centers, right? And how the higher ed centers are providing support to our campus and what does that look like in the recruitment process? And that might be a conversation I might have to have with the superintendent or with the director of counseling and counseling and support services within the district regards to the role of the higher education center and also what data is provided as well regards to recruitment. And my fear right now is that all of our programs have to be inclusive and open to everyone. And I don't know if we can ask, based off the recruitment process, if we can ask for the demographics of individual students who might be low income. So we might be able to ask for the low income data, but we might not be able to ask for the demographics of those students because that means that we can be perceived as doing targeted recruitment. So as we try to work through this, I think it's important to look at what is our recruitment strategy for the next year, what is our timeline, looking at different ways to do that as well. And also who the partners are. And here's the reason I'm bringing this up. So when I look at dual enrollment and what we do for dual enrollment, one of the things that we moved forward with was the 12 and 4, where we send out letters to all K-12 high school students about the dual enrollment opportunities, because we can't assume or we can't target a group of individuals, because if you look at dual enrollment, not just in our area, but nationwide, it does not, African Americans are one of the lowest groups who are taking dual enrollment, right? So if you look at our campus, our numbers are significantly higher, but we're doing now sending letters out to all students. And maybe for TRIO, it might be looking at with our K-12 is sending out letters to all students about the TRIO program, regardless of income. So they know about the program, but being very strategic about that and also in compliance with the Dear Colleague letter and thinking outside the box.
That's why you're the president of the college. I give you your kudos. You know your stuff and you keep us on the right path. And that's what I like about you, Dr. Curry. You want to make sure that we do not overstep, not just overstep, but we stay in the boundaries where we were so that this college will not lose any money. And I thank you for that. And thank you for your wisdom.
I still have questions.
Answer with everything that we said. I'm sorry.
On slide 17,
Yeah. Is this the power? It's not
so the GPA, I see the dip in 2021 through 2022. I'm assuming that's affected by COVID, and our numbers have, it's gone up. So I see that improvement. It's better than 2019 on 2020. So kind of before COVID. Going to the next slide, slide 18, the standardized test. Why is it still low? It's almost half of 2021, 2019, 2020. Did the standardized test change dramatically? Do you have any idea?
Only high school juniors tend to be tested for CASP, in math, English, and science. That tends to happen junior year. And I feel like this is my opinion, I would like to state that. The slight increase that we have of 14% is because the Compton Unified School District is increasing their efforts in ensuring that students are staying for testing, doing makeup testing. So hopefully actually that number will continue to rise in the upcoming year. And that's just based on my experience being there on site. They've done quite a bit in terms of ensuring students test and complete their testing.
But do you know why it was so high before?
Um,
No.
To be honest, not sure. I know that these numbers just dipped during COVID because students do have the option to opt out of testing, which is why now I feel like those efforts from the district to make sure that they do makeup testing in case students are absent has had an impact, a positive impact.
Do you know if the unified school districts, do they get an incentive for having the students take the standardized tests?
I do not.
Okay.
That is something I know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's another question to follow back up on.
Thank you for that presentation.
Thank you. Yeah.
So say the name and then we'll do it.
Our first student is Jasmine Landeros Ayala. And then. Our next student is Esmeralda Bautista. Oh, she'll be attending UC Riverside. Yeah. And our last student here tonight is Julie Romero, who is attending Cal State Fullerton.
Dr. Curry, next presentation.
Yeah, we do. The next presentation we have is our Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Accessibility, DEIA, which is presented by our Interim Director of Diversity, Compliance, and Title IX, Pamela Wilkerson, and also Dr. Pilar Huffman, our Director of Professional Development.
Testing, testing, 1, 2. All right. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here and present on our DEIA efforts here at the district. See, other duties as assigned. All right. So joining me today, as you know, I am Pamela Walker, Senior HR Manager here at Compton College and serving in the interim role of Director of Diversity Compliance and Title IX. Look at God. And joining me today is our Director of Professional Development, Dr. Pilar Huffman. So here's a quick overview of what we're going to be going through today. Talk about our mission statement, how DEIA is embedded as part of our core operations, talk about some training as well, and then we'll talk about future direction and my Dr. Huffman with professional development opportunities. Now here's our mission statement, and we highlight this here because it's because of this mission statement that drives our DEIA efforts and strategies. Our goal is to ensure every student is a success story. So everything we do is built on this mission statement here. Now, when I say the DEIA is part of our core operation, it's not just an initiative. It's something that we do daily and across the district, to the point of we utilize it to advance student success. Therefore, it's embedded in our policies and procedures, our ed plan, human resource staffing plan, and our future Compton College 2035. Now, when it comes to training, as you all know, we started with our DEIA training with the HR family. We took it to the EEO Advisory Committee and the Board of Trustees as well. And Dr. Huffman, she continues with far as it relates to training, hiring committees. The goal is to identify and eliminate biases in our recruitment process. And Dr. Huffman will touch on more of that at the end. Now, when it comes to partnership, as you may know, we do collaborate with USC Race and Equity Center. One of my favorite is a cooperation we have with the City of Compton and Compton Unified School Districts and other key districts and agencies. Our goal is to gain some of their best practices, is to expand our reach and our effort as it relates to DEIA strategies. For example, we eliminated requiring cover letters for entry-level positions. Our goal is to make sure that our applications is quick, smooth, and so we're picking up these practices from other entities that we've been partnering with. Now, when it comes to our hiring and staffing, we look at try to figure out gaps when we look at DEIA from that lens. So, for example, if we have faculty at 65% Hispanic, but our students is at 20%, that would be a problem. It would show that there's a gap that we need to address. However, right now at Compton College, our student demographics pretty much aligns with our employees demographics, which we'll review shortly. So here we go. This is all of our data. It is related to new hires. So we'll go through this really quick. This is for our administration. You'll see the breakdown here, and these are actual figures. And we gave you 2020 up to 2024. Then here you go for classified. You see the breakdown here. And again, it is aligning with our student population. And then faculty. This numbers here for faculty, it do represent both our full and part-time faculty. Now we go into the gender. Here's the overall picture from 2019 to 2024. And then you can see right here, those numbers up there from 2024, you can start seeing a little bit of diversity kicking in right there, other races joining our team. And then here's the overall picture. Next, we're going to go into gender. Now, 2024, we did hire 6 male administrators. And that's the first time, as you could see, that administrators kind of took over male for that year. And then here's the classified where it's kind of pretty much even. And it's been steady like that way for the last couple of years. And then here go our faculty. And again, these faculty numbers include both part and full-time faculty. And again, 2024, you can see a little diversity going in at the end there. And then here's the overall picture of our gender. And then the next slide is historical data, which been pretty consistent across the board. Now, before I get into the future direction, I would like to share something really quick as it relates to why we all seen the data for our new hires. I want to just break down really quickly the process it takes for your HR family and others to get to them new hires. For example, our help desk technician, we just flew in January. We had 84 applicants apply for that position. Out of the 84, 18 was African American, 4 were women, the other was men. Out of the 84, once we screen, the HR screen and make sure they meet the minimum qualifications, then we invite them to test. 74 was invited to test. So normally we would test just on Friday mornings, but then the press came in from our presidents and say, hey, what about evenings? What about Saturdays? So now your HR, we do testing on evenings, mornings, and on Saturdays. So out of the 74, 34 actually passed the test. So we did the whole testing, which will be on the eligibility list tonight, but yet we're still going through the process. So, and as you know, they have to score at least 70% to get an invite to interview. So I want to give you a quick overview of how that looks like as it relates to recruitment. Now, our future directions is to fine tune our DEIA strategies, get everyone completely trained. One key thing that we did bring aboard was our buddy program that Dr. Huffman, we recently implemented. She'll discuss them more and other professional development opportunities. Dr. P.
I was really enjoying. I was listening. Okay. All right. So, sorry.
Really quick, really quick. Part of our commitment is also when it comes to recruiting, hiring, and also retention. So when it comes to retention, that means recognizing our colleagues and the ones that joins our hiring committees and just recognizing them as a whole. We did have a wellness event and just different things like that. But as far as the ones that we wanted to distinguish in civility, we want to thank you, but also the ones that was nominated, because it shows that people see your work, and so we want to make sure we notice that.
All right, so professional learning, as we've shared before, we're really intentional here at Compton College to make sure that we're grounding the work that we do to train the employees in ways that are helping to support our diverse group of students that we serve. But one thing in particular that we've done that I'm most proud of is in spring of 2025, we've implemented this new buddy program. And so what we've done is actually we'll partner an existing employee here at the campus with a new hire. And just imagine, just like anyone's first day of school or first day of work, when you get there, you're kind of afraid, right? You're a little nervous. But if you have someone there that you consider your buddy that will actually be your confidant, someone who will be your liaison, someone that will be your network buddy, right? So this person has been trained through professional development to really hone in their rapport that they build with their buddy, their new hire buddy, and then also be authentic in that connection. You want to make sure that you're connecting with the campus, but also with the communities that we're serving. So taking the buddy around to the different parts of our campus and just really being collaborative to show them what we do here at Compton is about heart work. And so I just love the buddy program. Right now, I believe we have about almost 10 people so far that's a part of the cohort, and it's been really cool. I'm a part of the cohort, so I love it. I love that chance to give back. Another part of what we've done to really be inclusive in our practice is our employee wellness event that we had last Wednesday. Amazing event. I say it was amazing because we not only had the employees there, but we invited students into that room. And just being in the multi-purpose room and creating a space where we're talking about holistic wellness was amazing because it wasn't just for one group, it was for everybody. And if you would have been in that space and saw the smiling faces and the connections that were being made, they were really, really informative, but also very impactful.
And then last but not least, just that cross-campus collaboration engagement. We have more than just professional development to say that we're doing it to check off boxes, but we do it to make sure that we're supporting our students in more meaningful ways. And so as you see on the screen in this slide, we talk about empowering undocumented college students. How do we do that? You have to be trained, you have to be guided, you have to actually be able to understand what you're replicating, what you're duplicating across our campus. Another important topic that we also identify as priority at Compton is culturally responsive communication training. The way that we talk to each other is very important because it impacts us, not just when we're here on campus, but when we're at home. And then last but not least, we really take intentionality when we're dealing with our LGBTQ plus community, because there's a lot of needs that are continuously impacting the student experience, but also the student experience with the people that are serving them, the employees that work here. They also need to have training and understanding how to relate to each other. So at Compton, we're intentional in every single way, and I hope that you know that we love the students, but we love this work that we do to make sure that we're inclusive in the practice and in our minds, and we do that through the training that we offer at Compton College. So with that, any questions?
Trustees?
First and foremost, thank you for the presentation. When I seen it, I automatically liked it, the color. I liked how you broke it down from race and ethnicity, and also from gender. I could appreciate this all around the board. And I know you guys personally, so thank you.
I don't have any questions. I agree with the student trustee. When you broke it down and the color coded everything, that answered all of my questions, so that's why I don't have any.
No, again, thank you, Ms. Wilkerson, and also Dr. Pilar, so very much for this presentation. And I do want to say again, thank you for the work that you guys do. It is very important for our students as well as our faculty and staff to also to feel comfortable, to feel being a new employee or being a new staff member, to be able to have somebody to kind of help show you the ropes. But it's also important to have somebody that you feel that you can relate to, whether that is culturally, ethnically. That's also important, not just with adults, but also with our students. So the work that you guys are doing with DE&IA, it's helping to eliminate biases throughout our community. And again, that is under attack right now, but it's also very important. And I think the work that we're doing here at Compton College is very important, and it needs to be recognized, and it should be used as a model, not just here in the state of California, not just with our community colleges, not just here in California, but nationwide. So again, not a question, but thank you very much for the work that you guys do. Very much appreciate it and need it and important.
I apologize. Sorry, Dr. Sharani Little. I remember when we were in Africa and you brought up the buddy system and we were talking about DEIA, and to see it unravel and unfold and now it's implemented on the campus, I commend you, and I know you're pretty happy about that. It just kind of dawned on me right now, like we were speaking about the buddy system when we were congregating, talking about decolonization and different things like that. So yes, thank you so much for bringing it to life.
Thank you both for a great report. I do just have a couple of questions and a comment, Ms. Wilkerson. As you were talking about the hiring process, thank you for that clarity, because basically from the data, you have a full pool, but it seems like about 40% after all of the different layers make it through to test or to get to the interview process, which I think, again, throughout this entire night, that helps us to understand, because there are myriad reasons why that 40% may look a particular way that we may or may not know, because 40%, 4 out of 10, so that means 6 out of 10 did not make it to this point. And I think it's important for us as a community, as we continue to talk, to understand the similar language. I think being inclusive in that clarity is really important. Thank you for the report. One of the things that I just wanted to point out too, again, about data, is on page 14 or slide 14, where it talked about the new hire gender administration. And at first it'll jump out at you, as you indicated, that all the newly hired administrators were male. But then when you turn over and look at the employee data as a whole, males are still underrepresented by 5%. And so while it's 100% on one data point, it gives the fuller picture when you look at it holistically, and there may be different other indicators that could help explain that. Dr. Pilar as well, thank you so much for, again, the onboarding process and the necessity of it. I think we have to always keep at the forefront, education in any industry is a human endeavor. We can look at all of these data points, but if we don't humanize them, then it doesn't help us. And I think the purpose of the conversation and the discussion is to make human this work. And so as you talked about the professional development, I think sometimes people perceive it as a good to have, but none of the work could be operationalized without specific knowledge, tools, and skills. So I think this is very important, the why behind it, as you articulated that, the why behind the onboarding, as you articulated that. When we start connecting it to persistence and retention, both of faculty, of staff, and especially of students. And I think the more we have those kind of complete conversations is very important. My last more question is, how does the Dear Colleague letter and other initiatives impact, if at all, this work? And it doesn't have to be an answer tonight, but I would definitely would like to know ongoing. Thank you for your service.
I would say that we've been in compliance in regards to hiring as relates to Prop 209. That was approved by the voters in California in '96. And so I think we're in compliance. I think the issue will always be the continued recruitment activities, to be very strategic about that, but also too, as mentioned by staff, that we're doing, actually mentioned by Pamela Wilkerson, is that we're doing more, we have more strategies out there. So for example, just the testing. I think testing for classified positions being held during a week is a barrier for any group. And so by doing that in the evenings and also on the weekends, opens it up for for more people to be able to apply, but also to be able to complete the test. So looking at strategies, but making sure that we're in compliance. We have been in compliance with Prop 209 to continue to do that, but to continue to be very creative as it relates to recruitment of potential faculty and also potential classified employees, and making sure that we do a self-assessment or a reflection about some of our policies and practices to ensure they meet the needs of the community.
I have no questions. Thank you for that presentation.
Thank you. And special thank you to Institutional Effectiveness for assisting with the data.
Dr. Curry?
The next and last presentation is a presentation on our goals for 2025, 2026 for Compton College. Amari?
Sorry. All right. Good evening, Board of Trustees. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Okay. Board of Trustees, I'm here to give an update on the development of our 2025, 2026 college goals. All right. So just to begin, I wanted to just share very quickly the planning context that we're developing our college goals in, which starts with Vision 2030, which is the statewide strategic vision for our system, which involves closing equity gaps across measures of success. So how students are completing coursework and making progress towards their academic goals. Equity and access, so how students, particularly underrepresented students, are accessing our system, applying and enrolling in the college, and making progress in that first year. And then equity and support, so how we are partnering with external agencies and how we are supporting students when they are here enrolled in our campuses. All of that to say that Vision 2030 set the framework for our Compton 2035 Comprehensive Master Plan, which, as you know, involves 4 mission critical areas: education, student equity and achievement, strategic enrollment management, and human resources staffing. as well as supporting areas in technology and facilities. And through our conversations with our planning consultant and in our core planning team, just briefly, for the record, just a reminder of the many objectives that were developed to support those mission critical areas. I won't go through all of them, but you can see that they are very broad and comprehensive. And so that kind of sets the stage for our annual goal planning. Through the conversations in core planning team, we really focused in on what are the mission critical actions that we could take in the upcoming year and making sure to align those to the objectives that are laid out in Compton 2035. So these highlighted sort of red objectives are the objectives that we focused on where we felt that we could begin to make immediate progress in 2025, 2026, and that set the stage for our college goal. So that's why those are highlighted in front of you. I'll just take a moment and go through each of those mission critical areas and discuss the actions that we developed in core planning team to make progress on those objectives and strategies that are aligned in Compton 2035, beginning with our education, guided pathways, and programs of study area focus. And so we, through discussions in core planning, focused on adopting holistic and systemic practices and increasing partnerships. And two of the actions that we developed as college goals for next year were to evaluate our guided pathway structure, which we began with the Guided Pathway Summit last week, as well as continuing to sustain our basic needs resources and developing partnerships to continue to expand those. Moving on to student equity and achievement, a lot of work here. Three of the objectives are mission critical in terms of our student equity work, and the plan is to become more specific in actions and in outcomes in developing our 2025-2028 student equity and achievement program plan, which will be due at the end of November. So there'll be a lot of work in this area throughout, this summer and going into fall around student equity and achievement. As well as establishing and continuing to develop new partnerships with our four-year college and universities to continue to work on closing equity gaps in student transfer rates. Strategic enrollment management was another area where we decided we could make some focus effort in the upcoming year. And so some of the actions that we identified in terms of outreach and inreach for our current students, so continue to develop a system to track. I know this would get to a heart of a question that we frequently get about who is attending many of our workshops and events. And so focusing in this upcoming year on developing a system so that we actually can record the data of who is attending these events, who is attending these workshops, which then helps us be able to provide outcomes on how different students are succeeding based on the opportunities that we offer on campus. Objective 2, we are going to support by continuing our outreach and support services to increase participation in the College Promise program with our 3 high school district partners. Objective 3, in terms of expanding student-friendly and equity-minded practices, we are going to be focusing on continuing to develop open educational resources for our students with an ultimate goal in 2035 of reaching 85% of our sections offered are being offered with open educational resources or 0 textbook costs. And then finally, for the last objective, we're going to be focused on continuing to support our AB 1705 work and ensuring that students are not only enrolling in, but doing everything that we can to support them in completing those important gateway transfer level English and math courses. Human resources, our next area of focus, and the actions that we're planning to undertake in 2025, 2026 are continue to support our faculty who teach online and offer classes online and through hybrid modalities, as well as revising our professional development needs assessment so that we can ask our employees, what skills, what tools, what information do you need, additional trainings, et cetera, to support the work of Compton 2035. And then objective 3, which is prioritizing a development of a stronger sense of inclusion and belonging, is to administer a campus climate survey of some type in 25-26 so that we can get a stronger pulse on how our employees, students, et cetera, feel about the campus and what areas we can identify for additional support. All right, and then technology. We've a lot of discussion about the timing for this, and I think we've decided through core planning team that this is the right time for us to, excuse me, to address some accessibility challenges for our students. And so one of the actions that we hope to undertake is to join the CCC Tech Center's accessibility capabilities maturity model and participate in that opportunity to sort of ensure that the digital technologies that we offer for our students are compliant and that they're able to access them to complete their program and study successfully, as well as overall enhance the online supports that we offer for our students. And then closing us out, some of the priorities that we highlighted were to continue to monitor the planning for our various construction projects, for vocational technology building, math and MIS renovation projects, as well as the physical education complex, the Visual and Performing Arts Center, our Child Development Center. I think I'm missing one. That may be it. And then in terms of our fiscal plan, to continue to implement the recommendations from our FICMAT analysis, complete our annual audit in a timely manner, and then ensure that our business processes have no audit findings. So some of these were carryovers from previous college goals because the planning team did feel that these were important to continue to prioritize in our annual goals. That's correct. And as this is a continuing college goal set, we did have some discussion today in consultative council. And one of the things that will be added to this for your review and adoption in June is to develop the revision to our collaborative governance handbook, as well as our resources for our dual enrollment program, so our faculty handbook in particular. So next steps, we're continuing to collect additional input. And so if the board has any questions or input as we continue to develop these goals, I'm happy to hear that tonight. We'll continue through the collaborative governance process of developing these goals and then bring them forward to you at your June meeting for adoption. I'll stop there and see if there are any questions.
Trustees? Trustee Calhoun?
I missed what Dr. Berger said to you because it kind of interrupted your speech as you was talking to us.
So,
but she was giving you instructions?
No.
Oh.
So as these are continue to be in development, we met the consultative council this afternoon and discussed adding revision of the collaborative governance handbook to the college goals.
Okay.
She was reminding me of that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Oh, were you done?
No, Dr. Berger's looking at me like, why did I ask the question? Oh, okay. I was wondering. You gave me that look. I didn't hear it, so I just wanted to know if it was something that needed to be added to what you were saying.
No, just that, of course, we provided this update to the board, prior, and then today, as these are continuing discussions, the collaborative governance handbook came up today.
Just one question, though really, second question. You don't have to go to it. Page 10, where it says, increase the number of males of color students in the guided pathway division. I know it says with targeted academic, how are you gonna do that?
So that's one of the objectives and strategies that's laid out in the overall plan.
Okay.
And so as we prioritize every year, right, we will, develop different actions that we'll take to support that.
Okay, thank you for that. That's all. And great report. Thank you for that too.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. No questions for me at this time.
Thank you, Dean Williams. No question. Thank you for the report.
On slide 11, objective 3, I just have a quick question. Do you know where we're at now on like zero textbook costs? And you gave a year. I didn't jot it down. You said 2030 something.
2035 is the year that we hope to have 85% adoption of OER.
What are some barriers now that you're aware of?
In terms of development of open educational resources?
Yes.
I mean, I don't want to misspeak. 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 I don't want I don't want to misspeak. So earlier last year, we did work with the faculty to do an assessment, and collected data about what practices they're currently using in the classroom, like what tools and what interest there is in adopting OER resources. So, from a planning standpoint, I don't see that as a barrier. Just see that that's where we're starting, where we're kind of like data gathering and fact finding about what practices are currently
We're
occurring.
still in the early stages.
We're in the early stages of working with the faculty to lay out plans to move forward on that goal.
Thank you.
If I may, I want to add to the OER zero cost textbook. I would say D. Williams is actually correct, is absolutely correct regards to the early engagement. We're a part of the Institutional Effective Partnership Initiative from the Chancellor's Office, working as relates to open educational resources. We also have another grant regards to zero cost textbooks and what that looks like. We work with the math faculty on some of this already. We're looking at doing another review, another group as well coming up this summer. But I would tell you the hardest part for me regards to this is what does it look like in the future? What is the current cost to be able to go zero cost textbook and OER? And then how much does it cost to sustain it? And so a lot of times people are like, we can do more, do more, do more, and you pay a price. Whatever you paid, whatever cost might be, that has to be sustainable. So we're trying to figure it all out, but being very strategic about that because we got to make sure we're able to sustain it as well.
May I ask a follow-up? So related to that in terms of cost, another major cost that's not often talked about is faculty development around OER. Because as you indicated, you're doing research on it and seeing who's utilizing it. That's optional, is that correct, for faculty?
That's correct.
So in my experience, and I'm actually attending an OER conference next week, much of the barrier is, and is to me goes to cost, is devising and creating and being interdisciplinary as well, because not a lot of faculty have specific expertise in learning and connecting that to curricular and pedagogical development. So I'm wondering if there are resources to close that gap that can then lend itself to choices that are made around OER. And it doesn't have to be answered tonight, but that is a question.
Yeah, and we can follow back up on that, not only regards to the cost of what it currently like to implement, but also the professional development as it relates to it as well. I think that's a good follow-up question. To close out this presentation, I just want to just say that the connection between Compton 2035 that the board approved in December and the goals are all connected. And we're also working on our institutional set goals regards to data, which we'll be bringing back in June for the institution. So everything we're doing now is all connected to 2035. And even the OER goal, which was set a couple years ago, was connected to 2035. And so we want to make sure that we embed all the strategies within 2035, and that becomes a living document versus goals that are not connected to the strategic plan. And so I'm really excited about what we're doing, and we continue to have ongoing conversations. Today was the second time at the Consultative Council, which includes all the constituent groups, talking about the goals and making a connection. And I think we're at a good place where Amari, Dean Williams will be making some adjustments to the goals to bring back to the board so we'll be able to move forward. And then the board can be able to review as the board develop their goals for the next year, beginning this August. That's it.
Thank you for that presentation.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 13, consent agenda. Is there a motion? Is there any discussion from the board?
No discussion for me. No discussion for me.
No discussion? Can we please have the vote?
Okay, sorry about that, Sylvia.
No problem.
That's a unanimous yes vote.
Moving on to item 14, action items 14.01, Compton CCD District Oliver W. Connor Holdings formation documents. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Curry?
This is a follow-up item to the previous board meeting in regards to establishing a holding or a company to oversee the Oliver W. Connor Holdings. If you, as it included in the documents that this would include the Board of Trustees serving as the board for the holding company and moving forward with the formation, which provides the district with options as it relates to real estate, not only managing the properties, but also future real estate if the district wants to move, the holding company wants to move forward with purchasing other property within the district. In addition to that, it outlines where the profit goes regards to scholarships for Oliver W. Connor. But this is something that the board asked about previously and work with our legal counsel. This is the next step. And I'll be working with legal counsel to finalize all the documents and then submitting to the state to create the company. And our goal is to begin the meeting sometime in early fall of 2025. And I think this is a really good thing for the district.
Is there any discussion from the board?
I have a question, very quickly, and we can get these responses later. I know a couple of the articles need to be changed just because, for example, Dr. Nasser is listed, but also in terms of fiduciary responsibilities of the board now serving on this board, are there tax implications? And then let's say, for example, for whatever reason, either a board member does not run for reelection or loses their reelection, are there any, I would say, legalities that could in any way infringe upon this entity?
I don't see that, but I will follow back up with legal counsel on that one, just to make sure on that one. And then also regards to the Dr. Nasser, is that it would be the position, not the name of the individual, so we can make sure that that change is done as well.
Okay, and again, the IRS implications and separation clarity in terms of what documentation that the board members would need to declare, because oftentimes you have to, for different reasons, declare your affiliations, and so just to get that information.
Yeah, and my assumption, which we'll follow back up with legal counsel, will be a Form 700 regards to the holding company, but we will follow back up on that question.
Thank you.
Without any further questions, can we please have the vote?
That's a unanimous yes vote.
14.02, resolution number 05-19-2025A, resolution requesting Board of Supervisors of the County of Los Angeles, California, to establish tax rate for bonds of Compton CCD District expected to be sold during fiscal year 2025 through 2026 and authorizing necessary actions in connection therewith. Is there any discussion from the board?
We will be notified of the final decision, or do we have a range that'll be proposed? Is that a valid question?
So in the resolution, actually for the county, we're required to let them know before June 30th, we anticipate to sell bonds. And so we do anticipate to sell bonds, but so we're informing the county through this resolution. However, before we even move forward with that, the board would have to approve a resolution regards to the bond sale and the amount for the bond sale. And so we're looking at sometime in the spring where you get the exact amount in that resolution.
Thank you.
Without any further discussion, can we please have the vote?
That's a unanimous yes vote.
14.03 Administrative Services, Compton CCD, Resolution Number 05-19-2025B, Budget Transfers and Augmentations for Fiscal Year 2024 through 2025.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Without any further discussion, can we please have the vote?
Yes.
Can we have
She wants to
Trustee
give her vote.
Dopplemore's
She's having
verbal
some
vote?
technological issues.
Okay. And your vote is yes, Trustee Dopplemore? Her vote. Okay, just getting it on the microphone here. Thank you. That's a unanimous yes vote.
14.04 Administrative Services Contracts over 114,800. LACO Best Advantage in HRS System Maintenance and Support and Compton Community College number 64428, hereinafter referred to as LEA C dash 2530242530.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Without any further discussion, can we please have the vote?
My vote is yes.
Okay. Thank you, Trustee Dopplemore. That's a unanimous yes vote.
14.05 Administrative Services, Ratification Assessment Technologies Institute, LLC, ATI.
Second.
Dr. Curry, do you want to say anything? No?
Yes, I do actually. So this is one of the issues to the board regards to this contract. There was issues with this contract, and we have to do some findings as relates to it. And I'll provide an update to the board. But in order for us to move forward with the ATI, which is needed for nursery program, we need to have the recommend the board to approve this contract so we can move forward. And I'll be providing a more substantive report to the Board of Trustees in regards to what happened with this new contract and why it wasn't approved prior to today.
Is there any other discussion?
No other discussion other than the report will have the comprehensive history of the situation.
Correct.
Thank you.
Can we please have the vote?
Yes.
Thank you, Trustee Dopplemore.
Do you have all the votes?
Now I do.
Okay, thank you.
That's a unanimous yes vote.
14.06 Facilities Planning and Development, Construction Specialist, CS and Associates Incorporated for Physical Education Complex Project.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Without any further discussion, can we please have the vote?
I'm sorry, I had technical difficulties. Can you tell me the first and second?
Second.
Thank you. Sorry about that. My screen went blank.
Yes.
Thank you, Trustee Dopplemore. That's a unanimous yes vote.
That one was actually 14.07.
Yes.
We haven't done 14. Well, that it was
It was
supposed to be.
1406.
Yeah, that was,
Did I skip one?
they're very similar.
now.
Oh, I didn't do 1406. Trustee Calhoun, Dr. Little, save, take vote. I'm gonna do it for you guys. Everybody was a yay.
14.07 Facilities Planning and Development, the Anaheim Group tag for Physical Education Complex Project.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I call the vote.
So open it, reopen it, right? There you go.
One quick question. Do we have any local hire agreements or any information that's in that full proposal, Dr. Kelly?
Can you repeat the question regards to,
Around local hire or?
that is
any-
regards to the 14.06.
Okay.
Because that's just, and actually, I sent this email to staff earlier because I want to meet with the team regards to the local hires to follow back up from a previous board meeting regards to what type of data that we should be getting annually to be able to present to the board regards to local hires, because that is the item 14.06, and the construction specialists, that is a part of their job. And so I'm scheduling a meeting with them to be able to provide different reports to the Board of Trustees as relates to that question that you just mentioned.
Thank you.
But I know that's the current concern of the board.
You have the vote, Sylvia.
Trustee Calhoun.
The motion carries.
14.08 Facilities Planning and Development, the Anaheim Group for Visual and Performing Arts Project.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Without any further discussion, can we please have the vote?
Did have a quick question.
The motion carries.
14.09 Facilities Planning and Development, Universal Engineering Sciences Professional Solutions Incorporated, Physical Education Complex Project.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Without any further discussion, can we please have the vote?
The motion carries.
1410 Facilities Planning and Development, Universal Engineering Sciences Professional Solutions Incorporated, Visual and Performing Arts Project.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
One quick question. I noticed that TAG and UES have overlapping with both the physical and the visual and performing arts. Were they the lowest bids? And are they subs to one another in any capacity?
So if, based off of, we did a RFQ a couple years ago, and Dr. Owens Jackson is here, but we did an RFQ regards to responses for this, and that's how they became the lead for it. But Dr. Owens Jackson can provide more information. That's how they're working on multiple projects.
Hello, these are two different consultants. One is TAG is our, or the Anaheim Group is our inspection company for DSA. And the other group, Universal or UES Professional, they are our soils mitigation company. They don't work for one another. They're not subs to one another. They're straight consultants for the district.
So we just found that they were the lowest bid for each of the projects. My only concern is that when we have one company, whether it's TAG for whatever services they're gonna provide and UES for whatever services they're gonna provide, if we run into issues, we're stuck with them for two different projects. And it could be the positive side of that too, but in general, diversifying it may lessen the likelihood of us being beholden to them. So that
They
was
were
where
the
my
lowest-
question.
They were the lowest bidder
But have good ratings.
and had good ratings.
Okay.
We're currently using them for our student housing project,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been doing a great job. We're moving it forward.
So they're getting all our money. Okay, great.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, did you say inspection on one of these?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Anaheim group.
The Anaheim group is they've been with us before, right?
Yes, they did this project. They did the admissions building, our current building that we're in now.
Yeah, I've seen it. I just, never mind, I'll talk to Dr. Curry. No, I'll talk to Dr. Curry.
Is there any other discussion from the board? Can we please have the vote?
I haven't got, okay. Here it is.
The motion carries.
1411, Facilities Planning and Development, CEWUP Education Construction Insurance Program Coverage Indication, PE Complex.
Second.
Is there any discussion from the board? Can we please have the vote?
The motion carries.
1412, Facilities Planning and Development. No, it's fine.
Second. If we don't have to read.
Is there any discussion? Can we please have the vote?
The motion carries.
1413, Human Resources Compton CCD Resolution Number 05-19-2025C, resolution to increase the annual maximum contribution towards district medical, dental.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
In the amount that we will be paying for the employees and everything. Thank you.
Yes.
This on 1413 is where our contribution to the employees, we're giving more. Is that it?
Yeah, so this one right here is for confidential and supervisory employees. So we're moving from 15,000 for that employee group to 17,000.
Okay, thank you.
And just for the record, since 2011, we have increased, if the board approves this resolution, and the next one, it'd be increased for these two groups from $10,000 to $17,000. And when I started here at Compton College in 2005, we were about $7,000 our contribution. And now to go to 17,000, that is a $10,000 increase over 20 years.
Excellent. Thank you.
Is there any other discussion? Can we please have the vote?
The motion carries.
14.14, Human Resources Compton CCD Resolution Number 05-19-2025D, resolution to increase the annual maximum contribution toward district medical, dental, and vision insurance for admit.
Second.
Administrative, okay, so another increase, okay.
Any discussion?
No.
Can we please have the vote?
Motion carries.
Item 15, discussion action. Dr. Curry.
The one update discussion is update enrollment. Dr. Berger?
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Curry. Our enrollment for summer continues to grow. We're at about, pull it up. We're up 14% in our unduplicated head count, 12% in the number of seats filled, and 11% in our FTES for summer 2025 compared to the same time last year. We are also up from the last previous summers going all the way back to 2020. 2019, we don't have data this early, but it does seem to be slightly ahead. For fall 2025, we are up 14% in head count compared to last year, 13% in seats filled, and 4% in FTES. And again, those are the relative day comparisons. For summer, you can see that we are 60% in person, physically in person, offering classes, and 39% in some sort of online modality, be it asynchronous, synchronous, or hybrid. 15% of our classes are being offered for dual enrollment at high school locations. And you can see that our online asynchronous, our synchronous classes have a highest average class size, but we have so few of them. Our asynchronous classes for summer carry a bigger weight for us and have a higher fill rate. In terms of marketing, we have postcards and billboards that have gone out. We've had our letters to the class of 2025, encouraging them to enroll in our dual enrollment classes. And we've been continuing our outreach and recruitment activities at our Welcome Center and also our virtual steps to enrollment.
That's it. Moving on to item 17, board policies and administrative regulations. Dr. Curry.
So we have several board policies and measure regulations that have been worked on by the district. These are for first read, and also you include a measure regulation for some of the policies that were approved. We're doing a lot of board policy and measure regulations for the district, but it's good because I think it's important that we continue to update. Our goal is to update board policies on a 5-year cycle, but then also take into account any changes that have occurred in some of the policies on the advice of the Community College League of California in partnership with Lieber Cassidy Whitmore, who provides support as relates to these board policies.
Item 18, information items.
There's various items here for information for the Board of Trustees. Just want to highlight that you have an update on the Oliver W. Connor estate and what's going on there. You also have the update regards to the Compton College Nursing Program. You also have the item 18.11, which is our budget development. And each month we're providing information to the board about the budget development. Included in there is our tentative budget assumptions. We've been made some adjustments based off the governor's budget proposal, but then also too, because of the work we have been doing with the Los Angeles County Regional Consortium, we're able to move in the previous one and also in last year's budget assumption, we talked about moving the nursing associate dean to the general fund, but now we have enough funds in the regional strong workforce and also local funds to be able to make that adjustment to our budget assumptions. So these are our budget assumptions that we're following to work on our budget. We'll be talking to the Planning and Budget Committee about next week. But I'm really happy about where we're at budget-wise and also with the information from the governor. The second item there is our updated 5-year fiscal management plan for the district. As the Board of Trustees are aware, we continue to update our 5-year fiscal management plan, and this update is based off of the assumptions from the governor regards to the May revise. So we continue to watch the budget for the district as it relates to our ending balance, but also looking out for future years to ensure that we want to reduce the amount that we're deficit spending. And that concludes that item. And then also in there is the update on the federal legislative policies and update, providing information about executive orders from the current Trump administration. And item 18.27 is the state of California legislative and policy update as well. And we also have the budget, the Board of Trustees follow-up log. And that concludes the information section.
Item 19, future agenda items.
These are items next month. We should have our annual fact book, doing a presentation on that, and also our equitable placement, AB 705 and AB 1705. Update on facilities will happen as well. The tentative budget, update on distance education, and also on the Student Success Center.
Item 20, oral reports. Dr. Curry.
I just have a couple. One is commencement is scheduled for June 13th, 2025 at 6:00 p.m. And coming soon will be the instructions regards to commencement of what time the Board of Trustees should arrive at the commencement ceremony, and that'll be coming out. But we're excited about commencement. I have the updated number. Let me just pull it up real quick. What I was extremely proud about regards to the graduation. Today I received the updated number of the graduation and where students are at regards to that. And just give me 2 seconds. I want to share with you, because I think this is important to share regards to that, regards to the numbers. Right now, based off our numbers and the unduplicated count for the district and our totals subject. We have increased the number of students who are graduating with dual enrollment. So for example, Compton Unified School District this year, we have 117 graduates who are receiving a certificate or a degree from Compton College. We also have about 17 students from Linwood Unified School District and 34 students from Paramount Unified School District. So we're really excited about the dual enrollment and what we're doing. So we're really excited about that regards to dual enrollment, because we have seen the increase in the numbers of graduates and the breakdown for students. So we're really excited about what's happening in regards to our graduation from Compton College for this year. And we will continue to provide the information to the board. So let me just go back. I'm sorry. So Compton Unified School District was 117, Linwood was 10, and Paramount Unified School District was 17. In total, since we've been doing this work in regards to dual enrollment and degrees, we have over 508 since 2019 that received some type of degree or certificate from Compton College through the dual enrollment program. This year, our unduplicated number of degrees and certificates awarded is 883, and the number of honor students is 465. Last year, it's 709 is the total. It's 383 plus 326, 383 degrees, 326 certificates, which is a total of 709, and 402 honor students for the spring of 2025. And that concludes my update.
Moving on to item 20.03, Board of Trustees. Trustee Calhoun.
First of all, I'd like to apologize to Dr. Sherry Berger. Dr. Berger worked very hard with me and my trying to get my hearing about my grade change, and they sent me a Zoom link, and I replied to the Zoom link, and I forgot all about the Zoom link, till I could talk about why I thought my grade should be changed. So because I missed that meeting, it was all on me. My grade stays the same as an F. That's okay. I'm going to take the class again, but I will not be taking it here. I'm very sorry. I will be enrolling in Trade Tech, and it'll be an online class, and it's a short thing. So, but what I did do is, and I hope I did it right, because I don't know who it went to, but I forgot who I sent it to. I did an email. I filled out the thing for the academic renewal. And my thing is, who received it, who got it, and what's the timeline? I'm gonna pay attention to this one. Who is over that, Dr. Curry? Unless I didn't read the policy right.
I do not know off the top of my head, but I will follow back up on that one.
Yeah, there's something called the academic renewal.
And there's a policy associated with it, but we can follow
Yeah,
back
that's
up.
what I was trying to find.
We will find it and provide.
I would really like to
review it.
Okay,
I find it and send it to you, but I also review it to find out.
okay, because I really want to know the timeline. I'm gonna pay attention to this timeline. And I went to a conference. Lake Tahoe sound real good, y'all, don't it? But I worked. That was a working conference. And I'm tell you, I took the class. Everybody, every elected official, newly elected and been on the board for no matter. They have the AB 1234 AB 2158. The ethics. It was ethics class, right? Ethics participation, proof of participation. You must take that class and it must be completed by January the 1st of 2026. So anybody that is elected needs to take this class, and AALRR was the one that did it, and you'll receive something like this. So that's all commissioners and trustees, elected officials must have this done by. It's a new rule in that, and I'm so glad you have to look it up. I'm sorry I can't find it. But I know it's January 1st, 2026 because I asked that question, so it must be completed by everybody. What else? Oh, when it comes to inspections of our buildings and everything, I hope that we hold the men and women or the company that does the inspection of all of our buildings that are completed, when the inspection is done, that they do a better job than what has been done on our buildings. I'm not going to talk about which buildings are not in, that are having issues where there's water or something separating, whatever. I'm not going to name what buildings they are, but we know, I've been in these buildings, and even down to the elevator. Even down to the elevator and the door. Ding, 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 ding. Then you can't use the door. I hope we start holding these inspection companies. They're getting our money. And if they're not doing a good job, we need to get our money back and never use them again. And put something on Yelp, Welp, whatever you put it on. Better Business Bureau, whatever, so people can, that's how we have to do them, because it doesn't make any sense to have a brand new building and you have an inspection and they pass it, then all of a sudden everything start coming apart. And it take them too long to do it. Our elevator should be good, but it's not. And there was something else I wanted to say, but thank you, Dr. Sherry Berger, for trying to work with me and my grade change. I am the one that missed everything. So you did what you were supposed to do, and I really do appreciate that. At least I made the Zoom that me and you had. I just didn't make the one where I had to, give all that information, but it's okay. That's a learning lesson. Stop clicking on something if you don't pay attention and write it down. So I do want to thank you for really trying to help me, assist me with that grade thing, because that was a humdinger, but it worked out okay, and it'll be fine. So I'm looking forward to anything else that's going on, and I know I have something else to say, but it's late. But I did want to apologize to Dr. Berger for all that assisting me, because that was a lot of work. That was not easy, ladies and gentlemen. That was not easy when you have to go through this process, and Dr. Berger and her team had to dot all the I's and cross all the T's, and then oh my God, they had this. Was it about this stack like this that you had to read through that I gave you? Yeah, it was a stack, and so I have to give kudos to them, because she had a stack of paperwork that their department had to go through and to reading why I was saying the changes and stuff like that. So I appreciate you looking at and still doing the job that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So I really do want to thank you for that, and I appreciate it so very much. I love you, and there's not a thing in the world that you could do about it. Don't even try. And that's my speech.
Thank you, everyone, for tonight's meeting, the administration, the staff, the faculty, and especially our students. Looking forward to commencement. Thank you, Dr. Keith Curry, for serving on a plenary panel at the recent trustee conference, along with the ACCT president and others representing Compton College and advocacy. And that's all that I have.
It was very good, Dr. Little. And I must say that Dr. Curry is one thing you have to appreciate about Dr. Curry. He was telling it like it is or however you want to say in the old saying. And a lot of the students and the trustees and everybody was there was just in awe because Dr. Curry was telling the truth. And even they had to admit, I forgot who it was, the lady, she admitted that what Dr. Curry said was the truth, you know, about the DEIA and everything that's going on. So he did I must say he represented very well. Thank you, Dr. Curry.
And as for my report, I just want to thank everyone that made today possible, the presentations, just everything, the operations with the students and the staff. And lastly, I just hope to see everyone at some of the graduation events. That's all I have for today. Our next scheduled board meeting is June 16th, 2025. Closed session begins at 5 p.m. and open session begins at 6 p.m. Adjournment is at 9:13.